I've been around long enough. My husband did not wrap up the nomination in 1992 until he won the California primary somewhere in the middle of June, right? We all remember Bobby Kennedy was assassinated in June in California. I don't understand it.
Very complicated, controversial subject. Doris Kearns Goodwin, your take.
Well, neither historical parallel that she offered were true, because Clinton had already sewed up the nomination by June, and in Bobby Kennedy's case, he had only gotten into the race like 6 weeks prior to his assassination.
Doris raised the second piece of Senator Clinton's comment about Bill Clinton still in effect contending for the nomination well into June. And on April 8th, 1992, right after the New York primary, many political observers said the race was over. Here's one on the Today Show 16 years ago. I think Bill Clinton's the nominee of the Democratic Party.
Plain and simple, period.
Absent major scandal. He survives the minor ones pretty well. He only needs every other delegate from here on out. Jerry Brown could win every delegate between now and the end of the primary season, and he still would mathematically not have enough delegates. Clinton has a lock on this. Now, back then, the Clinton campaign thought I was a mathematical genius. I knew how to add. John Meacham, the fact is that Bill Clinton, at that point, had 3 times as many delegates as anyone else.
Right.
He had locked down the nomination in April of 1992.
Right. It is a technicality that I think probably President Reagan didn't ultimately get the number you needed until June. It's kind of irrelevant. It depends on, to use another Clintonism, what's the meaning of June? Because clearly things are moving in Obama's direction. The Clinton campaign privately will, with great anguish in their voice, acknowledge that. The candidate may not. But I think this is a great example of what our colleague Michael Kinsley called a gaffe in Washington. It's when someone tells the truth by accident. And I think this is exactly what Maureen and Gwen were saying. It's not that she wishes him bodily harm. It is that she is counting on cataclysm. And at this point, at this hour in Memorial Day, you do wonder whether this is ultimately good for a party that by every mathematical and every atmospheric measure should be burying John McCain in the polls. I have something I keep trying to call the new misery index. It's not catching on as it should. So try for me. Here we go. Which is if you add up the wrong track number with the people who think the country's on the wrong track, with the number of people who disapprove of the president's performance, it's 152%. That's a pretty tough thing for a Republican. It's hard to imagine a worse year for a Republican to run. And yet he's running even with both Clinton and Obama. I wonder if Senator Clinton may not go down in a way as President Reagan, Governor Reagan did in 1976, and Senator Kennedy did in 1980, as someone who ran a very strong primary challenge, but who ultimately did represent one of the reasons the party lost in November.